Hi, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Angel DeSantis. I am a yoga instructor and a religious trauma counselor. And I've been getting a lot of questions lately as people start to watch these videos. People ask me a lot about, like, how do I get over, or how do I move through, or how do I work with? And I want to address that and just talk about how I, quote, got over it. Because I think that, there's a lot of layers to that. First of all, it's not one day you wake up and you're over it, but there are certain steps that I took, and I want to offer those to you so that you can find out what steps you can take or just try different things and allow yourself to move through whatever it is that you've been through, and get to the other side. And the other side of any sort of abuse or trauma or really negative and oppressive environment, the other side of that is joy. It's the capability to feel joy and freedom. So for me, when I was in this religious environment, and if you're new here, I grew up in a cult called the Children of God. But when you're in something like that, what they want to do is control your experience. They want to give you permission for, okay, now you can feel happy, but you can feel happy only for this. Or now you can be successful, but you have to pay penance to the proper people, or you may no longer be successful. Or don't think this, don't do that. And when you are a free and joyful person, you do the things you feel like doing. You do the things that you find joy in. You are creative. You are involved in life. You don't feel separate from, quote, the world. You feel like you're a part of the world. You feel like the world is for you. And for me, starting in a place where I was taught that none of that was for me, the world is not for me, success is not for me, business is not for me. My job is to be quiet and serve like a good Christian woman, and everything else is not for me unless I am given permission to feel this much. And if I'm given permission to feel this much and I don't abuse it, then I can keep that. And that was kind of the environment of religious oppression. Is they try and control your human emotion because they want to know um, that they can control you. Because a lot of religion, especially once it gets into human hands, the idea of organized religion is that it's organized and you are organized. Um, they can move you around. You're a pawn, and they know how you're going to act. There's a certain set of rules within which you are allowed to act, and you're not allowed to act outside of that. And that's why you're useful, because they know who you are, they know how you're going to react, and they know where they can check you. And so the other side of that, and I think what recovery is the ability to feel freedom and joy. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit, and the way that I did that, because and there were a lot of things that played into this, but I'm just going to start with the question that I asked myself that really started to get me down this path and create a formula. And the question that I asked myself was, can I be proud of who I am now? And when I first asked myself that question, the answer was an immediate no. Immediately, no, I can't feel proud of myself. And when I thought, well, why? Why can't I feel proud of myself? I realized it was because I was taught that I was not allowed to be proud of myself. Pride is associated with Satan. It's what made Satan become Satan. He was an angel and then he was proud, and now he's Satan. And that is the thing that they instill in you, so that you can never be proud of yourself. And as a side note, if you can never be proud of yourself, you can never be joyful and you can never be free. But as I asked, can I be proud of myself? I got the immediate no. And then when I started to ask why, and I realized that, then I started to be like, wait, is there anything about myself that I like? And then I had to sit there and work through trying to pay myself a compliment, trying to be like, you know what? You're good at fill in the blank. And I couldn't do it. And I spent a long time. I think I spent like 2.5 hours the first time that I tried to pay myself a compliment. Because everything that I would try, everything that my brain was like, give yourself a compliment for this, there would be a roadblock. There would be a religious block in my head of, nope, can't do that, and here's why. And so I just couldn't feel good about myself, because every path that I went down, it was like, you can't be proud of yourself for this, for that. Jesus gets credit for this. Your husband gets credit for that. Your family gets credit for this. You get credit for nothing. And what I finally did is I picked my hair. I was like, I get credit for my hair. I like my hair. And that was the one thing that I could be proud of. So I listed it. I made a list. I was like, I'm proud of my hair. And then I felt really guilty for making the list. Um, but then I started coming back to it and being like, what can I be proud of myself for? And I was like, well, you know what? I like strawberries and they're healthy, so I can say that I like healthy food. So then I would write that down. And then slowly but surely, I started to build a list of just the things that I was proud of myself for. And the thing is if you can build yourself up a library of parts of yourself that you are proud of, then it becomes a little bit easier to move away from who you were or what somebody tried to make you. And it becomes easier to move towards who you become, because then you start to notice of like, oh, wait, I'm good at this. Oh, wait, I'm good at that. Oh, you know what? I do think well, or I do know how to take care of myself. So I think that asking yourself, can you be proud of who you are now, is a really important question. And again, if you hit that immediate no, ask why that immediate no came up and where it came from. Because if you grew up in a religiously abusive environment, guaranteed the inability to feel proud of yourself is not an accident. It was designed. You are supposed to not feel proud of yourself, because if they can prevent you from feeling freedom and feeling joy, then they win, and that's what they want. So I would say give yourself permission to feel proud of yourself. And if you want, pause this, make a list, or just make a list in your head of things that you are proud of yourself for. Like maybe you're really skilled at reading. A lot of people aren't. Maybe you're really skilled at writing. And maybe it's something that just you know, but it's important for you to know what you are proud of yourself for, because if you were born into an environment that wasn't religiously abusive, it would be a normal and healthy thing for you to have self-confidence. But if you were born into a religiously abusive environment, they will actually go out of their way to take down your confidence. So you should have this well inside of you of things that you are really proud of yourself for. For some people, it's sports. For some people, it's their intellectual ability or their ability to cook, whatever it is. But it is it's a very mentally healthy thing to feel proud of yourself for certain things. So, and understand that the quote, bad parts of you are not necessarily bad, but you were taught that they were bad. And those are two different things. So, as you're trying to sit here and figure out, can I be proud of myself and what for? Sometimes this is what my brain did, is it immediately took me into, nope, we can't feel proud, but here's a list of things that are wrong with you. Here are all the bad stuff about you. And the thing is I had an immediate list for that. I had a list of things that I got wrong, because that was the list that I made when I was trying to keep myself humble. Is I made this list of all the things that I was atrocious at. And I would tell myself, well, you're not good at being humble. You're not good at talking. You're not good at thinking. You're not good at communicating. And it was just everything in my life was on the bad list. And as I started going through this process of what can I be proud of myself for, I realized that everything that I could have been proud of myself for was already taken from me and on the list of things that made myself bad. And again, this was a list that I had to develop because I was raised in a religiously abusive environment that makes you put all the good parts of yourself on the bad list. So if you're really confident and you really like speaking up for yourself, that's a good thing. But if you grew up in a religiously abusive environment, that'll be on the bad list. That'll be your loudmouth. You talk too much. You're prideful. You're a woman and you shouldn't be speaking in the first place. All the stuff about you that should be on a good list or would have been on a good list if you were raised in a healthy environment will already be on a bad list. So I think that's just important to know as you try and find the things to be proud of yourself for, that all the things that you might be proud of yourself for might already be on a quote bad list. So it's important to go to the bad list and really look at it and think, are those actually things that are really wonderful about me? And I got this a lot when I was in the cult. I always tried to treat people well. And so even when I would run into ex-members or people who the cult had labeled as enemies, I would still like want to check on them or be nice to them, be like, hey, are you okay? How are things going? And just meet them on a human level instead of coming at them from like, I'm still a cult member, so I'm superior, and you left, so you're below me, so I'm not going to speak to you. I always tried to approach them from a human level and meet them as an equal. And given the environment I was in, which was a cult, that was quote a bad trait about me. And they were like, Angel, you're not good at holding the line. You're not good at keeping like your spirit secure. You're not good at like service to God and like keeping the fruit clean, like you're going and you're getting dirty in the world. So that was a quote bad thing that I did. When really, if you think about it, that's a wonderful aspect about me. It's something that I love about myself, is my ability, no matter their circumstance, to try and see each person on a human level and try and meet them on an equal plane. But again, I know that now that is a good thing, but that is something that was definitely already on a bad list. And I had to go to the bad list and be like, nope, this one is coming over to the good list. This is an aspect of myself that I am proud to have. So um, look at the bad list, because I bet you everything on the quote bad list, if you put yourself in an environment that is healthy, I bet you all of those things are wonderful things about you. I have a lot of people on here that are part of the LGBTQ community. And again, if you were raised in a religiously abusive environment, all of the parts of you that are non-binary, or the parts of you that are gay or queer, like all of that is on the bad list. And if you move into real life, then you realize that those are all wonderful things. The ability to claim your sexuality, the ability to express who you are, the ability to be articulate at a young age about what you want, the ability to state your beliefs and to make your own fashion choices. All of those are wonderful things. They're good things, and it's amazing that you were able to cultivate that in spite of the environment that you were in. And all those things are on a good list. They shouldn't be on the bad list. And if they are, go get them. They don't belong there. So yeah, make a list of things that you are proud of yourself for, because the more you can be proud of yourself and find the parts of you that you love, the more you will start to feel joy, because the more that you will realize that you're right. You are very well made. You do think well. You can trust yourself. You are perfectly and wonderfully made. And that was something that might have been used against you. It's a true statement. And if it was used against you, it shouldn't have been, but that is still a true statement. You are perfectly and wonderfully made. And whatever expression it comes out inside of you, it is a wonderful thing. So look for the parts of you that you can be proud of and start that list, and start taking stuff from the bad list and switch it over, because it is very likely should be on the good list. So that is one thing that I did. And again, if you want to win over your abusers, give yourself permission to feel joy. And I don't know how to tell you to do that. Joy is something that is so personal, but I think that if you start with looking for ways to be proud of yourself, then you will automatically just start to feel a little bit like, oh, I should feel really good about that. Like, I feel really good that I'm able to adapt in every situation. I feel good that I'm able to separate myself and, live in something that is really true for me. Or I feel really proud of myself to live by sound principles, as opposed to the ones that I was given that I was never allowed to question. So look for the things that you can be proud of and move a little bit closer towards your joy, because you do deserve it. And the reason I fight so hard for my mental health is because I know that being mentally healthy comes with joy and a feeling of connectedness and freedom. And all of those things were the things that they tried to deprive me of. I was not allowed to feel joy. I was not allowed to feel connection to the world, and I was not allowed to be free. And for me, I'm like, I'm going to work really hard to be proud of myself, and I'm going to go after my joy. I'm going to go after mental health, and I'm going to go after freedom. So walk a little bit closer into yourself and find the things that you can be really proud of yourself for, and let that lead you out. Let that guide you a little bit closer to the feelings of joy, of feeling connected to everyone else in the world, and feeling freedom. So I hope that this was helpful as usual. I keep on looking down because I have everything scribbled. I'm like, these are important things. But I hope it was helpful. And if there was something that resonated with you, let me know. Or if there was something that brought you a little bit closer to joy, leave a comment. And thank you to everyone who has been leaving comments, because I know that other people see it and it is really helpful. I see it and then I go research the things that you say. So it is helpful. And best of luck on this journey and keep walking forward. You'll make it through.